first and foremost, hopefully, most on your house shall bless you. Okay, that's kind of part of how it is on the camera. But first and foremost, hopefully, the most on your house shall is blessing y'all day, man. By His mercy, we are consumed. We're alive in the most on your house's body, and too, we're naturally alive. And yeah, I want to get into this, man, because a lot of times too, like, cause here's what we gonna get Psalm 68 today, because that was actually in the Discord app, man. You know, we that was the verse of the day, Psalm 68, 4 and 5. But we're going to get into this. Because a lot of times, too, like, you know, actually, I think brothers actually in the Discord app was having this discussion the other day about, like, you know, the fatherless, man, about how, but honestly, pursuant to the law and, like, you know, what it means, a fatherless is pretty much talking about, like, you know, the father that died. It's not saying that if your father's alive, like, you know, you're like an orphan, or your father is how it is modernly. No, it's talking about like the father died and the widow or orphan. That's what it's talking about, honestly. But you know, but a lot of times too, when we talk about that too, there's a lot of debates with that. I noticed, but you know, even me, I kind of got into it. Actually, a while back, I was talking to my brother about that, man, about how it is. We get into the whole kind of gender war, like, you know, kind of topic when it comes to that, man. But we kind of like, we talking about, because you know, even though, like, you know, let's be clear, like when it's talking about the fatherless, it's not talking about, like, you know, the baby mama stuff nowadays that our people do. No, it's not talking about that. Now that's another conversation for another day, because that's not a conversation for another day. I ain't gonna really go into that, but it's really talking about, like, you know, the father died, like, you know, pretty much that's what it is, because what you call him, because Ruth was Naomi was a widow, and, like, you know, she had children, things of that nature, or, like, you know, it's really talking about what was the father that died. But really, when we focus on this, man, we should focus on being in His image, and we're gonna get into that, man. How really we can miss the point a lot of times too. Even me, we're going into this, but it's really when it's widow, it's talking about the father that died. Not saying if you have an active father out there and he was worse than an infidel or a deadbeat father, is not talking about that, like, you know, that being your father is how modern terms, that's what it's talking about. But honestly, man, being in His image, like, you know, this is really the point, though, really a good, like, you know, aspect of that, like, you know, we can miss sometimes. Let's get Psalm chapter 68 and verse you know, and verse 5 real quick. It says, verse 5, it says, yeah, a father of the father. Let's get verse 4. Sing unto Yahweh, sing praises to His name, extol Him that rideth upon the heavens by His name, Yah, and rejoice before Him. It says, a father of the fatherless, a judge of the widows. Oh, didn't we just talk about that the last video? It says, is Yahweh in His holy habitation. So see, let's get right to two, because it's all going into being in His image. Ecclesiastes chapter 4 verse 10, it says, be as a father unto the fatherless, instead of the husband unto their mother, so shalt thou be as a son of the Most High, and He shall love thee more than thy mother do. So see, and that's the thing too, because listen, let's get John chapter 1 real quick. Let's off of GP. As you John chapter 1 verse 12. But as many as received Him, He gave them power to be sons of Yahweh, sons of the Most High, sons of God, even to them that believe on His name. So see, because let's go Isaiah 9 and 6 now, because you're literally being in His image, because that's what He is, like, you know, He was, and how He is to us, and how Yahushua is to us. The Most High Yahushua is to us, because, like, you know. And also too, you get Maccabees with Razis, and you could get Paul being a spiritual father to Timothy. Yeah, and Job we about to get, man, how being a spiritual father, man, how you're just like him, because that's what Yahushua, the Most High Yahushua is, like, you know, to us, man, how Yahushua is to us, man, the Most High Yahushua is to us. But Isaiah chapter 9 verse 6, it says, for unto us is born, unto a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulder, and His name shall be Wonderful, the Counselor, the Mighty Yahweh, the Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace. So see, but when you do that, when you're like a spiritual father, like, you know, to that, like, you know, you're in His image, because that's what the Yahushua was. The Most High Yahushua is, man. So honestly, because you know it is too, man. I had, like, you know, honestly, not to boast. I'm not trying to boast, but I don't even bring this up. But, you know, sometimes. I'm pretty sure your brothers and sisters had this happen to you. Well, brothers should say happen this to you. Actually, it's crazy. I was watching Men's Society the other day. It's like the that whole concept of spiritual father is not like taboo, because even when Cain was in jail, I forgot his name. When Cain visited the guy in jail, he said to his friend, his older friend, he said, man, he was like a dad to me, man. So that's like a spiritual father. Even like with Dragon Ball Z, like, Goku was actually Gohan's dad, but like Piccolo was his spiritual father. So even like, with me, I had certain students, like, over my time working with youth and in schools and where they said, oh, like, you're like, my stepdad, you're like my dad. It's just like, wow. It's just like, that's just what it is. And that's actually, I think that aspect, why not only the father in this with our people, is that's the problem now, because of course due to prophecy and due to our, like, our own wicked doings and, like, our behavior, our conduct that's happening, and lack of responsibility, like especially men, like, stepping up. But also to that spiritual father aspect is like kind of going now, because it's just a lot of things with that. But because I even though I had a natural, like, father, like, in my life, but I did have a few like spiritual fathers or old mentors like that. Because there's nothing wrong with that, man. Because like, because even back to that's another thing with then that's where it comes from, the time period and things of that nature. But it still happens now, whether in the word or outside the word. It still happens now, that aspect of the spiritual father or even spiritual mother, because Deborah was looked as a mother, like, with our people in Israel. But so those aspects are kind of gone, but it's still rather prevalent in certain places. But this as a whole, that's like taboo to us now, because you know what it is too. That's that prophet. That's that what 2 Timothy 3 and it goes into. Everybody's lovers on their own selves. Everybody just so focused on me. Because even back even back when I was growing up, man, like, you had the whole, like, the neighborhood, the whole block, everybody would look out for somebody, man. Like, the neighborhoods would look out for each other. But now that's even as the world's actually colder and colder. It's not even getting like that. Even the generations and stuff like that before me. So but that's neither here nor there. But let's go with this in Job real quick, because even Job says that he was a father to the poor. Not only natural poor, but the faithful as well, man. Because that's what poor in this world, but rich in faith. But in Job 20:29, then we probably gonna close out. Yeah, exactly. Job chapter 29, verse 16. Yeah, you know what? Dang. I'm gonna see, because this can go into that again. Yeah, this can go into that again, but yeah, man, let's just go grab let's go grab that again. Job chapter 29, verse 16. It says, I was a father to the poor, and the cause which I knew cause which I knew not, I searched out. Oh, and that's what's called. That's the go lines with that Proverbs 25:2. That's another story for another day. But also, yeah, man, just notice how, like, he said he was a father to the poor, man. But also, too, whether in the word, out the word, man, being in his image, man, being like, that's for a part of it, man. Like, but how much more in the Lord, man? Like, But let's grab this James chapter 2 and verse 5 real quick, man. Because I know y'all had certain people like elders, or actually, sometimes even OGs going, or certain school teachers, certain people around the way, certain even if you had foster parents, your actual parents wasn't with you, or uncles, grandfathers, that was like a spiritual father to y'all, man. So even saying, like, flip side for our sisters, man, like, having that spiritual mother, even both sisters and brothers, or brothers and sisters that had that, those aspects is kind of missing though. But honestly, like, idealistically, always should be the actual father and mother, but that's not, like, always the case, man. Especially, like, these times. Look at James chapter 2 verse 5. It says, "Hearken, beloved, my brother, have not Yahweh chosen the poor of this world in faith, but of this world rich in faith, and heirs of the kingdom, which have promised him that love him." So yeah, man, your fathers should pour, like, up to the faithful as well. But even those that's outside the word, man, like, even that, like, it's actually flattering. Like, it's actually good like that. With like, this I don't even know sometimes that the impact they have on those students when they say that. Like, and I had actually multiple students say that to not only me, to my brother. Like, I'm pretty sure y'all brothers and sisters, like, that worked in that type of field, work with children. They probably said that or think about that about y'all, honestly, man. Because like, that's just is what it is, though, man. But yeah, man, that's all it goes into being in His image, man. Yeah, so hopefully this is edifying. Yeah, much love to y'all brothers and sisters. So peace.